Hi, I'm Sally Gradden. I'm a life coach and I specialise in helping unhappy professionals reclaim their lives. I wanted to talk a little bit about decision making. After I qualified as a doctor, I moved to a beautiful part of the country, North Devon, here in the UK. I got married, bought a house, and on the surface, everything was great again. I loved aspects of my jobs. My patients were great. I worked for some fantastic consultants and things were okay. But over time, things unravelled slightly for me again. Just the pressures on junior doctors, the hours, the responsibilities, the thousands of often small but nonetheless important decisions that you have to make day in, day out. The the not getting any time to take 5 minutes for a quick breather, let alone going and eating a lunch, just became hard work, and hard work in a very negative way. And it was all brought to a head when I was pregnant. I just started to work in my GP training, and I was doing a psychiatry rotation. And it can be quite intimidating being on a psychiatric ward, a locked psychiatric ward, dealing with patients who can at times be unpredictable and occasionally even violent. And when you're feeling very vulnerable in the first place, as any woman who's been pregnant, or anybody who's been around a pregnant woman knows, when you're pregnant, you feel vulnerable. Your emotions are heightened, and sometimes things come to the surface which maybe you've been putting up with for a long time, and suddenly they seem a lot harder to put up with and deal with. And actually for me that was my saving grace in many ways, because I suddenly realized that I couldn't carry on the way I was, and I felt as though I suddenly had permission to step away from medicine for a bit, to take a bit of a break, um, on the grounds of my mental health suffering, because again I'd slipped into a negative cycle of feeling very low. And so I took some time away. I received some counselling and went quite deep into certain feelings and events and talks around certain subjects that I'd never really given myself permission to talk about my feelings of stress and everything that went along with the training and all the things that I'd been trying to deal with by myself for so many years. And after I had my daughter, I'd always thought, well, I'd eventually go back to medicine, but I realised that actually I couldn't bring myself to leave my daughter for as many hours as I would need to. I couldn't bring myself to put myself back in a situation where I would be under so much pressure, so much stress all the time, and to then bring that back home with me to my baby. And I didn't want to put myself, my daughter, or my husband through that. And I made the easiest and also hardest decision of my life to leave medicine. And for me, in the end, it was quite an easy decision. It took a great catalyst, the catalyst of having a baby, to do it, to finally put my life and my thoughts into perspective, and to realize that I couldn't carry on pretending that everything was okay, pretending that I was following a path that I was really truly happy doing, and admitting that everything wasn't okay was very, very tough. And then trying to tell my parents and my family that I was walking away from medicine for good was a very intense thing to do, and not something that could be taken lightly. After all, I was dealing with people's feelings and emotions, and the hopes that people had had for me, and the wishes for me to be successful and happy and achieve something great in my life. And I was walking away from what many people saw as a fantastic career, and people thought I was crazy. But I knew that I had to be true to myself. And I think so many people, so many of us who have worked so many years and put so many hours and so much love, blood, sweat and tears into achieving those goals and doing the thing that we always said we wanted to or thought we wanted to do, to then turn around and to walk away from it is a very, very difficult thing to do. And it's a time when we need to be very kind to ourselves and to really accept all the emotions and the feelings that it brings up, because some of them surprise you. You think you're dealing with it really well, but then suddenly you'll get floored one day with something, a sudden sense of loss, or another day a sense of elation, and it can be very up and down. and I imagine that any of you who've made the decision to walk away from something as big as that can relate. And I would love to hear from you if you've made a decision, or if you're thinking about making a decision similar to this, or if there's an inkling in your mind that maybe you need to make some big changes and you're not quite sure what they need to be. I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment or get in touch through my website at www.sallygraddon.com, and I would love to hear from you.